His hair is a fucking abhorrent. He's got a wee chubby face, like a wee round head. He don't look like a fighter, man.
Aye, it doesn't. It does not look as if he should. He should be entering the ring. Like you feel like he should be surrounded with these older cousins to protect him.
Uh,
But he's a beast.
quite a lot of videos and stuff, like, on YouTube and that. He looks so fucking wiry as well.
Aye, the when
Aye,
I
yeah,
saw him in the
I'll
video
need to watch
earlier
a few
today,
clips.
he's like he is a bit thicker. But he cut because he
Aye,
cut. I think he goes down to 145 pounds.
what's that, like, welterweight?
Uh,
Bantamweight or something?
featherweight, featherweight.
Featherweight, right, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But what,
Bantamweight's the one below that, which is 135. Like
right,
you see
okay.
some of those
See, I don't
guys
even
that
know that.
cut down to that, man. They look like skeletons. Like
I always
Josie
remember the
Aldo
first
cuts
time,
down to that now.
remember Conor McGregor, in fact, was he, when he was fighting Aldo,
Yeah, that was at
and he's
145. Aye,
he's terrifying, like, man, he's so gaunt.
aye. It looks like
A picture of him.
all the moisture from his body has been taken out.
I know. I've
His
always thought
soul's
about, like,
disappearing.
not drinking water for like 2 days just to see what you would look like. I've never been
Pro-
that dehydrated.
You'd probably lose it all on your face quite quickly, wouldn't you?
I think you just lose the puff from your face, but it's probably more noticeable when you don't have a lot of body fat to begin with. Like, I'm
Aye.
thinking you don't drink for 2 days and then you lose a stone of fat.
I've put on a couple of pounds. I'm gonna go up and say to my missus, I've got this sorted. Don't worry. I'm just
Aye.
gonna no drink water for the next week.
I was laughing at myself the other day. So, the
It's good.
name of the podcast, right, is Miles Off It, and I listened back to one of the episodes we did, and it opens with us talking about hill walking, and it was just the thought of someone listening and going, "Wow, these guys are outrageous! What? These guys are out there, man. This
These
is
guys are
miles off it.
wacky.
We couldn't be any more miles on it." So yeah, man, when I'm hill walking, I don't say hi to anyone. I just go fuck you. Oh, no
I
Peter
wonder
here.
if no, Peter's off. I suppose I should introduce it. This is Miles Off It with
Hmm.
James McCluskey and Scott Steele. We normally have Peter Wattick, but he's
He's
dead.
bunking. Hmm.
He's dead. So we're
He's
hoping that his tragic passing will help us gain a few more listeners.
Yeah, the good 2 episodes.
Yeah, yeah, he had a decent run, man. I
And
mean, he lived life to the fullest with his bottled water, and I shouldn't make fun of that. I'll
no, we
pass
should
it.
make
I'll
fun
pass
of it.
by that.
Peter's never tried soda. When I
He's
ask him
never
that, has
had.
he ever actually tried juice, or is it? Imagine having like water preferences.
I just like tap water.
Aye, our tap bottle's good on it. It's not you
I
go
see.
somewhere else and you realise that it's just a pile of
Aye.
calcified
When you
shit
go
when
to,
you go down south.
or even down south, do you find a difference there?
Aye, my sister used to live in Bristol and went down to visit her, and I sampled some tap water, like a wine, and it was fucking rank, man. It was disgusting. I
Ah,
mean, you've ever been down, like, some areas in England are better than others. So, like, I don't know how that works. But what, have you ever been down in England to a glass of tap water?
uh, I've been down in England. Whether I've sampled the tap water, I'm not sure.
You must have, man. You must have got up during the night and had a wee sip.
Maybe I have, and it's never registered.
It's
We
like
have got the
there's,
best, man. You've got the
aye,
best. If you're on holiday in Spain or that, and like having to go and get bottled water
hmm
to refresh yourself, you can't just go to the tap because it's bad for you or whatever, and it just doesn't taste good.
we should export ours and brand it as a bottled tap water, and we should sell it in Spain and shit. Make a fortune.
You'd buy it. It's like
When you're over there, I just buy
Neddy
Scottish
people
tap water.
that like they go to Benidorm, and if they find a bar that sells Buckfast by the shot and they're able to sell it for like €10 a drink.
They can't believe the luck that this place that's dominated by English pubs and other British things sell a fucking English drink.
Is there anything better or worse than if you're on holiday and you hear only fools and horses on in the background,
And a
and you just
Lineker's.
know it is a Lineker. It's always a
Always a
Lineker's.
Lineker's. They're
I
everywhere.
wonder if Linekers will make it through this pandemic.
Isn't
Will this be the undoing?
aye, there's expats over there keeping that patriotic dream alive. Isn't one of the is it right? That's a stupid question, but is it the Lineker brothers that we know? Is that their pub? Is that their family?
I don't know. I don't know
Aye,
because that's what I thought at first. Is it like like Gary Lineker's pubs? But
aye.
I don't know. I don't know whether they've just tagged on that
What's
name or
his
whether
brother? Is his brother not a bit sort of rapey? No,
I don't know. I don't want to
I
throw
might
out
not. Allegedly, I
allegedly.
said
I
sort
don't
of.
know. Is
That's
he?
allegedly enough. People
Oh
always
yeah.
post pictures about him saying that he's like got a bit of the
I'm
nonce about him. Allegedly,
I miss
no
so
one's
much
listening to
stuff.
this. They don't need to say this.
I know exactly.
He's a
There's a few things you and Peter have brought up, and I'm like, I don't even know what he's on about. Like last week, you told me about. It wasn't recording; it was in another part. But you told me about the Count. What's his name? Dacula.
Count Dankula.
And I knew this person was some kind of social media celebrity, if you want to call it that. But I didn't know the whole story, and then you told me about his weird pug that likes to do
He went.
inappropriate salutes.
He was prosecuted for a joke that wasn't all that good in the first place. But I think his real crime is sort of operating under an Xbox 360 gamer tag that he used when he was like 11 years old. I imagine. I
He
don't know what
still
he
uses
does
his
though.
Hotmail email address.
Or Yahoo. Jesus,
Hey,
man.
nothing wrong with Yahoo.
If anyone ever emails this podcast, they're gonna hesitate.
It's a real one. If
We
anyone
should.
wants to email a question, email it to milesoff@yahoo.com because we all have too many Gmail addresses and we didn't want to get in clunky. But as
That's
this
quite
thing
miles off
grows,
it, isn't it? Using Yahoo.
there you go. There you go.
Is blue?
It's
I'm
like,
gonna look up. Is blue yonder still a thing?
if it is, we're getting in it. You're never too late to the party.
Uh,
Do you know
I
what?
mean,
I don't see me people say the Google things. My go-to search is Bing, Bing.com. That's a wee bit miles off it as well.
that's miles out.
It is. I don't know why. I
But
think there
why?
was some reason. There was
Do you just
some.
not want any search results?
Hi. Who won the Premier League in 2016? Zero results on Bing. Zero.
That's a pretty safe search engine to search really dodgy stuff on. Because I'm pretty
Uh,
sure it's easy to get no results on it.
I don't
Bing? You
appreciate
use
the
Bing?
inference. I use Bing.com. Aye. It's one of the top things in my search history. Bing.com.
Why? Do you use Google to
Uh,
search for Bing to find it? That's what I would have to do.
I can't remember why it was. I think it was when I was at uni or something. For whatever reason, one of the lecturers said that using Bing rather than Google gives better results for whatever we were doing at the time. And from then on, it's just stuck with me. If I need to search something, I just go to Bing.com.
Right, okay. Just
Have a
pictures
go
of
at it, mate.
Chandler Bing. I use DuckDuckGo as my preferred browser because I'm paranoid about being watched.
I was going to say that you're paranoid about being watched, so you've set up a podcast that will be available on YouTube,
Uh,
and I've just given out the email address.
well, I'm paranoid about being watched. That's why I'm doing this podcast because nobody's watching, so I'm safe.
This is the safest place for
Uh,
someone that
I
doesn't
could say
want to be
anything on
known
here.
or recognised.
Aye, I could sit and recite the launch codes week after week, and we would be absolutely fine. If anyone's listening, I'll email you the launch codes.
If anyone's listening, James is going to give you his bank card plus the CVC number at the back
Uh,
next week.
Honestly, if anyone is listening, I'll give them one of my bank card, all the CVC, everything. I'll send them an ASOS voucher. I'm that confident.
That's fine. I'm just going to get my dodgy cousin to email you and ask for that. Be good.
Imagine
He
we
is our
do
one
this. Imagine we do
subscriber.
this for like 2 years and nobody ever listens. And it's just
How's the
us
podcast
talking.
going? Oh, we're nailing it. We are. We
We're doing
we, we
good.
nearly we nearly got a listen last week.
We
There
had a
was there was
sniff
one
of a
guy that
listen.
there
A
was
guy
one guy that
called
was
in to
looking
say he
for.
accidentally clicked the YouTube link by mistake. And
I
can he have his
apologise.
view back? Can we
I
take
think there
one
was
mark
one
off the
co-
view count?
I think there was one comment on one of the videos, and it was just somebody trying to spam or whatever
I clicked
that's
on
been
it.
removed. Did you click on
I
it?
and I definitely have a virus, man. It was like
See,
but he commented a timestamp, right? And it was like, so I clicked the
aye.
timestamp, and it was pointless. And then I clicked the link, and I don't know, man. It was like some snuff murder film or something. I don't know. I don't need to
So
give my
aye,
bank
that
details out
duck
because I'll
duck
probably
goose you're
be.
using's working out well, innit?
Uh-huh. Aye,
If
fuck's
you're clicking
sake.
on that.
I was so excited to see a comment, even if it was like, "This is the worst shit I've ever heard in my life." But
Yeah,
no,
if you're engaging someone in any way,
aye.
that would be helpful. But I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait for the 5 year anniversary of this, and
Well,
we're
when
on
we when we
episode 250, and we'd like to thank the three people that listened to episode 4. Uh, we remember you well.
but
I,
would you
there's probably plenty of folk out there that have been putting things out, and they're like, thanks to everyone. Did you ever get someone on that, like on social media? They'll be like, "Oh, sorry, I've been so quiet the past week,"
like we
and
weren't
you
listening?
feel bad for them. Like, genuinely, no one noticed. Not one person noticed.
Aye, no likes, nothing.
Like,
Hmm.
you could go 6 months, mate, or they'll go. Just going to switch off from social media for the next week. I need a bit of headspace. I need a bit of time for me.
Aye,
And there's and then no one comments because they desperately want someone to go. You do
stay.
you. Look after
Mhm.
you. Stay safe and look after yourself. But they put one of them out and no one comments.
That's like that
That's
Jesuit
basically what
joke when he's
this.
talking about people who like tweet about night. What they're really saying is about me. YouTube's littered with that though. See, like
Aye.
YouTubers, and I've seen quite a few of them recently. I don't follow any YouTubers at all, but there's like the thumbnail is someone going, "Why I'm leaving YouTube," and it's like 3 million views. Like you are not leaving YouTube, mate. You just earned fucking 10 grand on that video or whatever. How much do you earn from YouTube
Uh,
videos nowadays?
I don't think we'll ever know, James. That's the truth. I don't. I think it depends because uh, if you're someone like Rogan, right, who's like, say you get 500,000 views, but those are all in the same week, like you'll make a lot of money from that. But say it's a clip that consistently gets a few thousand, but for over a number of years, you won't earn that much.
I tuned into Rogan recently. If the podcast had sort of moved on from him just saying to guess, we gotta find a way, and then just some stonery, pathetic attempt at being prophetic, and it's not moved on. It's the exact fucking same. We gotta find a
It does
way to
get a
everyone give everybody $1 million, but that will
it
cause
does get a bit
inflation, Joe.
samey.
Yeah,
Like
ever tried mushrooms?
I went through a stage where I was listening to most of his stuff, but it's like a part-time job, man. He's got that much stuff going out, and then I like the fight companion stuff where basically they would just get drunk and high together, and they
Hmm.
would forget they were watching fights, and then they just talk nonsense. Like those are the funny ones when they let themselves loose a little bit. But then he'll get somebody on that's an expert in your legs not cramping during the run or something, and he spends 3 hours talking to them. And like, man, just I don't know where you thought this was going.
Or Ben Shapiro, who's just professionally hates trans people. I don't. What is his title? What is he? Is he a journalist? What does he do? And by the way,
I think
Ben
I
Shapiro,
thought he was a journalist.
he should be like he should be a poster boy for the gay and trans and queer community because he's the most catty gay guy I've ever heard. He's so
I
sassy,
know, but
man.
I think he enjoys the. I think he enjoys any kind of like acknowledgement. See, like we were saying earlier about like any engagement is good engagement.
Aye,
I think he's possibly one of those
unless
people.
it's two guys getting engaged. He hates that.
He really does.
He hates those engagements. Or Jordan Peterson. You like Jordan Peterson?
I've read one of his books.
Nah, I
Well,
read his
some of one
stupid
of his
book a
books.
few years ago. I think I got it in an
Uh,
airport.
I don't think I finished it. I don't think I did. Cause it I don't like it. See when it's kind of set out that here's the life lessons. Follow these steps and you'll be all right.
Aye.
I think it's very egocentric.
I don't think anyone could have
Like
that advice.
I've figured this out.
Uh-huh. That's what kind of perturbs me about like psychotherapy. Like everyone's just some regular dick at the end of the day. Doesn't that Jordan Peterson have like a serious opioid addiction?
He's
I
got
don't
something
follow him. I
going.
don't really like him. He sounds like fucking Kermit the Frog. But he's like he was off the grid, and I'm sure he'd like a serious drug addiction. And it's just like everyone's just some guy at the end of the day, just popping pills.
But I think that there's something good about everyone realizing that you're not significant.
Hmm.
Like the worst thing you can do is tell all children that they're special.
Hmm.
This is the fatherhood podcast
Have you
with
ever told your kids they're special?
James.
Will you tell your own kids they're special?
Aye,
Special
like
to you though.
like you obviously you tell them they're the most important thing in the world to you, and like when they do something and they're proud of it, you whoa, you're amazing, like
Yeah.
amazing, all. But you see it too often where like the praise will be over the top for something that's not worthy of any kind of high five.
Hmm.
Never mind a certificate, man.
They're not worthy of a high five. It's me,
That's
Jordan
exactly what my
Peterson.
son sounds like.
Is it?
Yeah, he's Kermit the Frog.
Oh no, Kermit the Peterson.
No, but I think there's like if you over compliment like when something's just good. I'm not talking about like a 3-year-old. If they something's amazing, like you lap it up and you make it special to them. I'm talking when like someone's 7 and they they can barely kick a ball and you're making them believe they're going to be Ronaldo, and you're like, all you're doing is setting them up to fail
You'll be
because
Gareth
one
Barry
day
at best.
600 grand a week,
I know, but
take it, man.
underappreciated.
But aye, but someone at some point is going to point out to them that they're not that good, or they're going to realise, and they're going to not like you as a parent because they were like, you told me I was amazing at everything. I went to my art class and I thought I'm amazing at drawing, and it turns out my self-portrait that looks like the Gruffalo isn't that good.
But equally, that's how you get like child prodigies. But any story of a child, like usually they're absolutely shattered as people. So like like
Yeah,
Michael Jackson, Tiger Woods, all these people, like they're amazing at what they do, but they're just broken.
yeah, it doesn't end up. Yeah, there is a happy medium
Hmm.
because the guy I watched a documentary a few years ago about this guy that played in the NFL. He was a quarterback for the Oakland Raiders, and from birth, I think his dad was like a failed athlete, and like basically took note of everything that he did wrong and the best way to do things as far as training and nutrition and all that. And when his wife gave birth to a son, it was like, this kid's going to be in the NFL. And even as a baby, he would like stretch him certain ways so that his muscles develop. Like he'd researched how to help your muscles develop the right way. And like the kid hadn't had any kind of chocolate or sweetie or anything like that until they were in like teenage years.
And that
Like
kid
their
was O.J.
whole life.
Simpson. Uh,
No, no, this was a white guy. This was white ginger guy. Cannot remember his name. And his dad basically again mapped it out for him and said, right, this is how he's going to be in high school. He's going to go to this college and then he's going to play in the NFL. That's what's happening. And like everything was like his whole day was mapped out for him by his dad, even when he was a teenager.
oh fuck.
And you all right there? Oh, we've lost James. He's back. Uh oh. James is temporarily gone away. He found my story wasn't quite engaging enough. So it's just me for now. I apologise to the listeners and followers that I've accidentally clicked on this when they meant to go to something else. Please keep scrolling for the video you intended to get to. And if you could accidentally send this link to other people so they could listen too, that would be lovely. But we'll try and get James back so that he can act disinterested in what I was saying. And then I can go get my dinner. Because I'm starting to get hungry. Let's see what's happening with James. Do the countdown again. There it is.
Three,
Yes.
2,
1. Yes, just when James decided to go away because my story wasn't interesting enough.
Aye,
It was terrible. I don't even know if I should finish
I want
it.
to hear it though. I want to hear it.
It was so, the NFL guy that his dad mapped out his whole life for him, and whether it was nutrition, sleep, how he exercise, strength and conditioning, every part of his day in life was timetabled by his dad, and you probably don't need too many guesses to figure out how it went. Basically, he went to college, became a dancer. He would probably do quite well on Dancing with the Stars or whatever the UK version is. But yeah, he went to college, did very well, and then he got drafted to the Oakland Raiders, I'm sure it was. And he was now in his 20s and having not had any sugar, alcohol, anything like that his whole life, basically. I think he got a taste of something and then basically went from the teetotal pinnacle athlete to I'm eating Mars bars for breakfast and heroin for supper. Do you know what I mean? Just went fucking full scale. And it didn't end well. Yeah, he got chucked out of the NFL for whatever reason. I think he just went completely off the rails. So I think he was a prime example of being over-parented, and that you can think that you're doing everything right, whether it's nutrition or raising your kids, but you need to let them be a little bit, man.
So, well, I'll take that advice,
For
and
your
I will get a vasectomy to avoid that.
aye, we can get a 2-for-1. There might be a Groupon deal or something.
Have you ever heard about the procedure for a vasectomy? It sounds sore.
Yes, I have. I have heard of it.
That is the face of
and how
someone
they
who
do it.
says, "I've had one, and I don't want
No,
to say."
no, I've not had one. I've not had one. it won't be too far away. uh, I've heard that there's a couple of different ways they can do it, but yeah, all ways involve your bits down there getting
Hmm.
slit open, and they can either use some kind of heat thing to melt your tubes.
We
I
hot glue
shouldn't be a
gun.
doctor.
Aye.
Basically, a glue gun.
It's a wee laser, isn't it? It
They
would be funny if
they
they just
fuse
snipped
the
your
tube.
balls off, like your hanging balls, and they just cut and they just fall to the floor.
Imagine you turn up, you're like, I'm really scared about this procedure. Is it going to hurt? And it's like, no. You see him sharpening a saw, and he's just like, "Hey,
With a
just
hedge
stand
trimmer.
still.
Aye.
Take them with you." Right.
So, I was going to ask you something, but I forgot. So
That's
then
all right.
I have nothing else to say.
That's okay. We're getting there.
R.I.P.
I just
Peter.
remembered. I don't miss Peter at all.
No, it's
Hate him and his
fucking finally had
waterways.
Pepsi without feeling
I
bad.
not feel
That
prefers
fascinates me
Coke.
that just just water and food like a
Yeah,
dog.
that's all. Aye, yeah, it's like a Labrador, man.
Uh,
I lost my dog this week, man.
what
Got him
happened?
back. He's not dead. So, my garden is going to be getting done. I'll come to that in a minute. But there's a panel in my fence that's was loose and then it's fallen down. But it's only like this wide, so it's quite small. So like a dog's head can get out of it. But the dogs have never tried to escape away from it. It's been like that for a while, and I should have just fixed it, but I'm lazy. And earlier in the week, it was Easter Sunday actually. Lost him on Easter Sunday, and he came back. He rose again. I was about to feed the dogs, right? And normally when you get the dog bowls out, like
Hmm.
they both hear it and they're into the kitchen because they know that sound. Like they know the drawer where I keep the bowls. So as
Aye.
soon as they hear it, they're down. Uh, so I'd got them out, and then only one dog turned up. So I was like, "Oh, it must be still outside." And I opened it, and I was shouting on him. I was shouting on him. Went and checked all the wee spots that would normally be hanging about. He wasn't in there, so I searched like the whole house in case I'd accidentally like put him in a room and closed the door behind me without knowing he was in there.
Hmm.
He wasn't there, so he basically escaped. I said to my wife, right, dog's missing. I'll need to go out and start hunting around the village for him. And she got in. She went out up like a hill that's near us in case he ran that way. I went moving around for ages. So my wife phoned the police. She's in tears to like report this
Police.
missing dog.
Do you
Get the
phone? You're not
fucking
phone the police,
FBI
are
on
you?
this. No, like it's a case if your dog's missing and then
In
like
case someone stole it.
a dog of that description turns
Oh,
up
right,
at the police
okay,
station,
aye.
they can
It's just
call
funny,
you.
just the
No,
idea of
they don't
phoning the
get like
police straight away.
they don't get like their best detectives. Ah, drop that child
Aye.
abduction case. There's a border terrier missing. Uh, and I went on to Facebook and there was I was like I couldn't find where to put it because I don't have that many people on Facebook that live near me. So I found like a lost pets of the village I live in and posted it on there with a photo. And I felt really bad because it took me ages to scroll through my photos. Because see when I didn't have the kids, I had hundreds of
Aye.
photos of the dogs, man. Like I would open up the album on my phone, and one of the first things would pop up would be the dogs.
Aye, my camera
But
rolls like a lonely ant. I don't think there's any pictures of my girlfriend on there.
it's just the dog.
Just a dog. Hmm.
Fair enough. Mine used to be like that, and then the kids came along, so it's just all videos of the kids, and I'm like getting annoyed, going, "Get off my screen, you two! I need the picture of the dog." Eventually, got one that was like fairly up to date, and put it on this missing pets thing, and I'd been out walking for like well over an hour, just around about the streets and wee bits that he could have been in, and then someone messages and says, right, someone's got your dog here. But he'd got like across a very busy main road down this bit. It was like a good half mile away from the house where he got
Just
to.
away for a wander.
I just went a wee wander, just an Easter Sunday stroll in the sunshine,
Hmm.
Just fancied
When you
being
said you
about. But
lost the dog and then you were getting the garden done, I thought you were like you'd lost the dog and you were going to Fred West it.
I
Do you know
just
what I mean?
just bury him.
Bury him. Get the landscapers to bury him.
That would be unfortunate when they lay the astrogras. There's just like this bump where
I'll
it's
put a
the
gump on it.
dog's skull. What's that? I need
Uh,
that left there, lads. Right, I just
don't
leave him
touch
there.
the speed bump. The grassy and all. But he's back, he's safe
Uh,
and well.
he's back and he's safe. But when my wife then went out in the car to like drive around the streets and that before we'd found him, and stopped at a couple of our neighbours that were out with their dogs, and she was just like, "Oh, could you keep an eye out for him? He's got out the back. There's a loose panel in my fence, and this old guy is just clearly one of those folk that doesn't have a filter and doesn't understand the situation. Because like my wife was quite upset, and she had the kids in the car, and my wee boy was a wee bit upset in that as well.
Uh-huh.
And rather than the old guy, I'm saying old guy, he's not like dementia, that he's just old, like a retired guy. Rather than him saying, I'll keep an eye out for him, I went, aye, I've noticed that panel's been doing for a while. It's like, Les,
Cheers,
now
mate.
is not the time, man.
Aye.
Thanks for noticing that my DIY, my home repairs aren't up to date. But right now, if the kid's been upset and the dog being missing is more important than your nosy, intruding comments on my fence.
Your fucking peeping Tom observations.
Aye, but I think he is one of those folk.
I've
Like
noticed that
he,
panel's been missing for a while. I can see you right in every night
uh,
at midnight.
I can see that you've had the same socks on for 2 days in a row. Yeah. Thanks, Les.
You noticed any of your
Do one.
washing go missing either?
He's one of those guys. He's on his own, right? I don't know if he used to have a wife or whatever. Has just always been that patronising and annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So he's just forever been single. But he for an old guy, right? He must walk his dog for like 4 hours a day, man.
What's his dog?
Like
French bulldog?
a black lab.
Oh, right, okay.
But like, there's sometimes you'll see him and he's out his 7th walk that day, and you can see the dog just like, can we just stay in? You know what I
I'm
mean?
not enjoying this. Aye.
This is no longer enjoyable. There's only we keep walking past the same fence here. Could we find like something else to look at?
I can't wait for that to be my life when I'm old. I just want to be alone and I want to be that guy and just walk my dog.
Have you told your loving girlfriend this, that your dream is to be on your own with a dog when
Well,
you're old?
aye, she knows.
It doesn't need to be said. It's just kind of inference.
Mm-hmm. Aye, dog and a parrot. And the parrot says really sassy things to me. And then I give it the jib back. And then it's like back and forth. And then I just go and walk the
You're
dog.
like to the parrot. Have you noticed number 67's fence is still down 3 weeks
And
later?
it goes, "Bark." The N-word. It's a perfect parrot. I didn't train it to do that. Watching
Parrots only copy.
Aye,
They
but
don't
we
develop their own
because we
vocabulary.
just sat and watched Def Jam. Me, the parrot, and the dog. And it goes, "Bark! White women be shopping. Bark!"
And what would the dog's name be in this scenario? Be careful.
Alan. How's that?
Yep.
Okay.
Alan's good. That was a dog's name in King of Queens.
Was it?
Remember that?
Did they have a dog in King of Queens? You think that?
What's his
show?
name? Pat. No, Patton Oswalt. His character in King of Queens had a dog called Alan.
Wow, you were invested in that show, man. I didn't get as far as seeing Patton Oswalt's dog.
He was
Was
in
that not a lot?
most
Was
scenes
the dog
with
like a
Patton
recurring
Oswalt.
character? Was it? Alright, okay.
Aye, because he was like a guy that couldn't get a girlfriend. That's just like he would just bring Alan the dog about with him and that.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm
Fair
sure.
enough.
Aye, King of Queens is one of those shows that I saw so many times that you just pick up wee obscure things.
It was like a perfect breakfast slot time. So,
Yeah,
like, going to work or whatever, it was there. Aye, it's always in the same. It was like 2 episodes, seven, like half six to seven, seven, I don't know. Aye.
she's had an interesting life. Leah Remini on
Scientology.
that show. Aye,
Aye.
I like the episode that we were bashing Rogan a wee bit earlier. The episode where she's in and just telling us like the inside scoop and all that, and how much money people are investing because she wasn't even that high up, but had given like millions of dollars in,
Oh,
and
she
even that amount of money doesn't even get you that high up in the organization.
didn't she do the thing that most people should do, where they take you in and like they open a book and it's just like Zenu comes down and he, delivers the souls of the humans, or whatever, the aliens that will inhabit human bodies. And she was like, "What the fuck is this?" I was just like the only Scientologist that went, "What the fuck is this?" and then left. Whereas everyone's like, "Yeah, how much does this cost me? 200?"
She got to that level where like they're showing her the inside secrets,
Aye, so it's
and
like,
she's like, "This like Doctor Zeus movie book you've shown me here.
aye,
This is what $1.5 million gets you.
fucking skin.
What the fuck is John Travolta seen?
Aye.
Who else is a high up? Tom Cruise, John Travolta.
Giovanni Ribisi, if you know him, he's a Scientologist. I think
Who's
this,
that?
what's he in? So he was like the bad guy in Ted. Remember him? Remember Ted? Seth MacFarlane?
Aye, aye.
Him.
Yep.
And he was in, oh, he was in another show on Amazon. I can't remember what it was called. Who else is a Scientologist? Will Smith donated to Scientology a
I
lot of
heard
money.
that, but I don't know if he's fully, if he's in.
He's just a positive, sort of goofy guy that I would just think he's probably so out of touch that he thinks he's doing the right thing donating to that. I don't think that
Yeah.
he would have anyone in his ear telling him what Scientology really is about. I think at that level in Hollywood, you're so shielded from stuff because you're just surrounded by sycophants, so you don't get any other opinion than the Hollywood elite.
Yeah, it's yes men.
Hmm.
Mm. I don't know. I couldn't live like that, man.
Scientologist.
Like no, with yes men, like people that thought I was good at stuff, it just would feel so unnatural.
We take you down a peg. Don't worry.
Now and
We
again,
keep you
aye,
grounded, man.
aye.
Never get
I
above
remember
your
a couple of weeks
station.
ago I wasn't feeling great, and it's just like
Uh,
Scott. And we know you're not feeling well, but you really dropped the ball in that episode, man.
yeah.
It couldn't even get.
Hmm.
It was a piece of shit,
And we stick by it.
and we stick by that. You are a piece of shit,
Never get
and
above
that's
your
what makes me
station.
feel comfortable.
Hmm. You need to be kept in
You know?
check, don't you?
It's like an abused dog, man.
Uh,
Like
well,
they don't respond to tennis balls; they respond to a smacking nose.
and you wonder why it ran away.
Exactly.
We should smack
I
Pierre
made
in the
them
nose.
sausages when he got back.
Made him sausages, rewarded him for his bad behaviour.
No, I made him feel like this is the best place he can be.
That's blackmail.
So I got him some Richmond sausages, and I was like,
Which is funny because he was half a mile away
"Don't do that
eating
again."
the remnants of an empty pack of discos. That's what you would rather do in a burn.
Rather than live with me in this
Sausages.
comfortable 3-bed house with sausages, he'd rather sleep in the cold and fight foxes
Hmm.
for the remainders of a dead magpie than sleep at the bottom of my bed.
Dogs suck, man.
No, they don't. Dogs are fantastic.
They do, but they just take over everything. My sister's wedding's in August, and I need to get the dog watched, and it's just a fucking ordeal now, man.
Aye, no, I get that.
It's like a child. Like, we're scrambling about to get the dog watched now, and I hope
If
she
we,
runs away.
back when we could go on holiday, man, bring him round to mine. He'll run away within a day.
No, she's terrified. She'll stay with you. Have sausages.
Back when we could go on holiday, to get the two dogs into kennel, say you went away for a week or whatever, you had to remember that putting the dogs into kennels could cost you like 200 quid or £300 for that length of time.
What?
Aye. We don't have many. Here's the thing, see when I had one dog, getting folk to look after them is easy. Like, even people that didn't like dogs are like, bring him in, he's fine. Then you get a second dog and no one wants near you. It's like children.
Mm-hmm. You ever put the kids into the kennels?
Only on our anniversary.
What's the longest you can leave the kids in alone for?
0 time, James.
I almost got you. That's how when the McCanns
9 days.
when the McCanns of the
9 days,
deposition,
like
that was how they got them. They were like, "How long would you typically leave the kids when you go out for a meal?" And they were like, "We don't." And they're like, I almost had you. You're probably guilty, but fuck it, on you go.
We couldn't. It's very that whole story. I don't want to get into that story, but like leaving your children in a country that you're not from for a start, or even like I wouldn't even do it here. See if we were in our house, right, and then there was a neighbour down the street was having like a garden party, and the kids fell asleep. We wouldn't go along to the garden party. Like, you wouldn't even. What I'm saying is, you wouldn't even do that on your own street.
No.
Never mind in a Portuguese hotel. It's so strange, man.
I watched that documentary and I feel as if I learned nothing from it.
It was a pointless. It was like a 4-part thing, as if they were going to give you
I know
more,
nothing happened.
and there was nothing to it.
See, the thing is, the weird one with the McCanns is, for some reason, they're unlikable, and it's trying to separate your absolute just disdain for their character and then the question of, are they actually guilty? Because why are they so unlikable? Because I sat watching it and I'm like, I can't assume they're guilty just because I don't like their faces. It's not fair.
I don't know what is it because of their kind of middle to upper class, or I don't know what it is, but I get what you mean, and you could feel for them in a way of that because the media picked up on that people had some kind of mistrust for them. Whoops. And they just hounded them, and I don't know. I'm not going to go into whether what they're guilty of or not guilty of. It's yeah.
Can you be guilty of having a
pulled.
punchable face? That's, you know what I mean? Is that a crime in itself?
I think it
The way
is.
Jerry
I
McCann
think
talks is annoying.
you are responsible for your own genetics.
Aye. Plus, like, just the way he talks is not irritating. I don't know why. Aye, some people will probably think that watching me talk, but you know, I didn't do that to my kids, so.
Talking of dads, we weren't even talking about dads. I'm just switching it up. Not dads. My dad will come into this, right? But now I was saying, like, the fence is broken up, right? We are getting the garden done up, right? So we had a few landscape gardeners come out the past week, 2 weeks, to quote for the work.
Right.
Like getting fencing and all that kind of shit put in. And I need to... I find it very uncomfortable having to pretend that I'm very masculine. Or is masculine the right word?
I know what you mean.
Like
Clued up.
When they turn up at your house and they assume because you're a guy in your 30s and you sound kind of working class that you understand all the stuff they're talking about. You're like, I don't know what you mean, man. But you're just standing and you don't want to look like a right tit, so you're just going, Aye, mate. You'll know. Aye, you'll not get your,
I
you'll not
they
get
they do
your, uh,
they put down the sub
your,
base.
your, your Diggy McDigger. You'll not get him in
No,
there,
no,
and
no.
you have to pretend you know what's going on, and let the. It'll be like, your fence, mate. So I see the past 6 months, the Costa timber's gone up by 25%. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, aye,
Aye,
aye.
bro.
Been
Tell
keeping an
me
eye on the
about
timber price for a
it.
long time, mate. I mean, I've lost hours of sleep thinking
Mhm.
about that. And but some folk are like about others are like they talk to you like they're like you are
Aye,
you know nothing
aye.
and they just explain things and they're friendly, not you just like I get that. But so we have three guys out, right? First guy sound just like really nice, happy. Uh, I was busy at times, so my wife met with him and she was like, "Oh, he was brilliant. I want him to do the work." Uh, I'm not entirely sure what they did whilst he was here, but she seemed extremely
Mhm.
satisfied. And
Yeah.
his quote was high, right, really high, but he explained why and all the bits like in a normal person's terms. So we had his thing. We got this second guy out that I just found on Facebook or something, and straight off, it's I felt like I'd bothered him, like I'd interrupted his day to get him round to quote for some work.
Was it what time of night was it?
Uh, this was at 4:30 in the
Oh, right,
afternoon.
okay.
This was not
Right.
late. This was not late. It was a Friday. It was at half
Before
four,
when
and
it
he was
goes,
like,
what?
"No, I'd organised it the week before, and he said, oh, I'll come out on Friday at this
He was
time."
wanting a couple of
And he
pints.
said that he
Uh-huh.
probably, and he said that he doesn't work a Friday. He works Monday to
He's
Thursday,
doing well,
and then the rest of his guys do. And he, no, he goes out and does all the pricing on a
right?
Friday. But see the way he was going, I was like, is this your first time like doing this? Because he was out my back, right? And he's looking at the corner of my house as if it was the most complicated construction project he'd ever. I was just like, I want the decking to come along here from the house, mate. And then he's looking at the corner of my house, and I was like one step down, and it's as if it was fucking Sagrada Familia in Barcelona.
Uh,
That was asking him to do. I was like, what are you? Is this the first time you've ever seen a step in a like the type of person that as soon as they walked in, he could tell you the 17 things that are going to go wrong with the job. I was like,
totally
mate, you're
negative
supposed to be
off the
selling
bat.
yourself to me here.
Did he suck through his
Like
teeth?
everything was a pure hassle. It was like I was able to tell him roughly how many meters of fencing it was because I'd measured it out, but the first guy that came out had also measured it. So I was like, "Oh, it's roughly this amount of meters," and he's
I
like,
measure in inches.
"Have he's got, have he's got how many meters it is?" And I went, "It's roughly that," and he's like, oh, "I'll just measure it myself." And like, right, if you never had to do that, and it wasn't even as if he had a big tape measure. It's like all he has to do is stand at the wall and put his wee measuring thing off, and a laser goes off, and it tells him.
Always you get one of
Like it's
those.
not as if it's a
That's
big
pretty
effort.
cool.
Aye,
It's pretty lazy.
exactly. So he's clearly doing all right for himself.
I love
Like so that was a
you walking up
hassle.
and trying to pull on the whole tradesman jib. Like, I probably just measured it myself.
Oh,
It's no bother. And he's just like, oh, shut up, man. I'll measure it.
aye,
Go and sit
aye.
down.
I reckon this will
Can
take
I
three
speak to your
days.
wife?
I wish they would, mate. I wish they would. She does all the DIY in her house. I am
Really?
horribly bad, mate.
Aye.
I'm useful. I do things around the house. I do plenty, but like as far as fixing stuff and all that, man. Like I nearly electrocuted myself
Aye.
3 weeks ago, changing my son's light,
Changing a
ceiling light.
fence panel somehow. Get a shock off
I
it.
probably would. Uh, but this boy just he made like someone that's already a bit insecure about talking things like that. He just made you feel like a complete
Aye.
like
Some
brainless
guys, some
idiot.
tradesmen are like that though. So I can turn on my how to talk to tradesmen. You know, I can turn that on. It's
Aye,
pretty easy, but some are like that. They're miserable. Some guys are really successful and they don't have any people skills. for whatever reason. And they're like that. They
It's
turn up and they
incredible.
just like they don't want to be there. It's really strange. But their
Aye,
works.
I felt like I was in his house. I was like, I'm really sorry, man. Should I leave? Like, I interrupted your afternoon. I apologise
Sorry about
sincerely.
that, mate. Sorry
And
about the quote. Aye. You pay him at the end, like
and
sorry
then he
about that,
sat.
mate. Sorry about the work that you did.
I apologise.
Here's the
I
money
messed up
for the
your
work that you
day.
did.
And we've got this bit that's got stones in it just now, right? So we're talking about getting an area of decking and then an area of artificial grass and then the fence replaced. And he's like, what you wanting done with this area of stones here? And my wife said, she was like, well, we'd want new ones just because we don't want everything else new and then we've got these old grubby stones. And he went, you do know you can clean them, eh? I was like, do you just... It's potentially giving this guy
Aye.
thousands of pounds and he's saying, we'll do all of that, but why don't we just clean these old stones?
Toothbrush stone by stone.
That's what that's what I thought. The guy's gone away up the road, get a quote together, and gone right. That fence that's £19 a metre. The decking that's about £60 a square metre. Much as it to get a couple of brushes, get a labourer in to clean
The
400
apprentice.
stones.
Aye.
Somebody would think that's a wind up. Like, we've got 6 guys in here. Sorry, Stevie, your job today is stone cleaning.
Right, I need to pee. Hold that thought.
No bother, man. We'll wait for James to pee. We'll wait for James to pee. He's off the alcohol. He's only on Pepsi. We miss Peter. He only drinks water. That's why his skin is so clear. And I look like the crater on the moon. James is off to pee. James is off to pee. When will he return? When will he return? I need one now. I need one now. James is off to pee. This is nice. Sent him a cupboard to talk to my mate, and he can't even hold his piss for 35 minutes. It's not even as if I can sit here and pretend that I was in the middle of a conversation and then they can just come in and I can pretend that we were in the middle of something really in depth. Just sat here staring into the abyss that is the webcam. Is James washing his hands? Is James washing his hands? What fragrance is the soap? What fragrance is the soap? Is he drying them now? Is he drying them now? Is he on his way? Is he back? Is he back?
Oh, sorry about that.
Did you dry your
Yep.
hands?
Barely.
Just been singing to myself. What fragrance is your hand soap?
It's like a generic. Do you know what? Actually, it's a bar of soap, like an old man's house.
Oh, do you live in a
It's
prison?
we've got an old avocado bathroom suite. You know what I mean? The bright green bath and sink,
Aye.
and we use Dove soap.
My dad's like that,
Really?
man. My father-in-law's like that as well. Like, they would get, like, see, for Christmas or that, they would get, like, a nice, like, bath set of that with, like, molten brown soap and stuff, and it's just, like... But then you'll speak to their wives, like my mum or my mother-in-law, and like, no, he just uses a bar of soap. Like, that's what for everything, like, head to toe, just the one
I
bar
use
of soap.
shampoo, but I use a bar of soap to wash with.
I'm a
I used
shower
to
gel
be,
guy.
man, but see, soap, you feel so clean, and it actually, like, the soap clings to your skin.
Aye.
Aye.
And there's a wee bit, it kind of feels almost dry when you're having to scrape it
Aye.
off.
But I use Links Africa once a year after I get it for Christmas, and I still do get it. Do you still get Links Africa?
Of course. I haven't the past couple of years, but I'd normally get a link set of some
That and
kind, guy.
coffee fees for some reason.
Oh, you would never, would anyone at any other time of year ever give you a toffee
No,
fee?
and I hope they never do. They are pretty Moorish.
Do you not
No,
like
they
them?
are good. It's just I don't know why it's become a tradition.
It's like a chocolate orange as well.
Aye.
I would always get a chocolate orange at Christmas time.
So have you gone for a landscaping
Uh,
quote, or you just your wife going to deal with it?
we've got someone booked in that's not going to hand polish the stones. They're just going to replace them.
Well, it seems the easiest thing to
Uh,
do.
but how my dad comes into this, right? My wife said to me when we got the quote like finalised and all that, and the work was going ahead. We've got a date to start. She was like, "Oh, see the old stones out there. You should say to your dad he might want to take them." I was like, "Why would my dad? They're old stones. Why would he want to take them for his garden?" And she's like, "Your dad doesn't throw away anything. He's one of those old school guys, right? He's never had any kind of finance on anything other than his mortgage. He's never had a credit card. Just saves religiously. Doesn't miss a beat with any kind of saving. Like you go into his house, right, and it's just the two of them live there, and the freezer is just packed with like yellow sticker stuff
Yeah.
from Asda, like reduced goods, because he just can't. Even stuff that he doesn't even like, he'll just get it because
He's
it's
like
40
lactose
pence.
intolerant. There's just tons of New York cheesecakes.
Just
Uh,
hunters of ice cream.
I respect him,
And
man.
that type of guy, right? And I was like, nah, my dad don't know what. Don't be, that's silly. My dad don't know what name. And they were in the other day, again, Easter, the dog missing day. And he was like, oh, what's getting done at the back? So I was out and I was saying to him, right, it's get decking here and then the fence, blah, blah, blah. And I could see him looking at the floor. And he's like, what are you doing with the stones? I was like, why do you want them? He's like, I'll take them. I'll find a wee
In the
spot for them in the
freezer.
garden.
What are you? Do
My
us a
mum
favour,
gets home
son.
and her side of the bench just get gravel
Do us
on
a
it.
favour, son. You want to stick a yellow label on them first, and I'll put them in a wheelbarrow. Just eating stones for his
It's, like, there's no use for them. His garden, like, he would have to actively find a space to put these things. And he's like, I might as well. The boy that's taking them out, he'll just sell them on to
Aye.
somebody else. I was like, Dad,
Sell them on to
he's
somebody
no
else.
taking.
Old red chuckies.
What do you think? It's like, nah, you don't know. It's like he's no digging up like these old fucking stones and phoning up his dodgy second-hand stone guy. Like, right,
Off the back of your van.
I've got some red gravel here.
I got some stones off the back of your van.
Like, if he's going to do anything, he's just going to dig out the muck for here and then use the old stones to fill in that area. Or just throw them away.
There's a newsagent shop round the corner from where I grew up. My mum and dad still live there, and someone bought over the shops. It shut down because of the virus. Someone bought over the shop and they're turning it into a bungalow, right? And my dad went around and stole all the signs. This is what he does, man. So it's like the paper round about the barn's called the Lennox Herald. The shop was called Dove Home News. And I'm looking at it right now. He's giving me the Dove Home News sign. Look at the size of this thing, right? This is no use if you're listening, but
I can't see your camera. I can't see your camera, mate.
is it off?
Aye.
Fuck, I don't know why.
I'm enjoying visualising
Is
you
it
just
working
holding
now?
some strange screen. No, now it's just an outline of a generic male
Right.
body.
I don't know why it's not working. It's a giant shop sign. You probably heard me putting it down there. It's a giant metal shop sign.
I did. I did.
Aye. And he stole
Does it
the,
just?
the
Is it
blue
quite?
sign that sticks at the side of the shop, and it's the lottery symbol. It's like a big plastic sign that sticks out like a.
Aye.
Aye, stole that. Just took everything. Don't know why. Same as your dad. Just dad holding. Just fucking
It just
maniac.
can't see it just go in a
Aye,
skip.
that'll go to waste, son. Those stones will go to waste. You know that. You know that shop sign at the end of the street? That'll go to waste. You know the sign that's specific to the shop that was there, son? I'll use that.
I suppose they're just very environmentally friendly. Like they don't want things just going to waste.
Aye.
Reduce, reuse, recycle. They're pioneers, our fathers.
Ah, so I've been happy with that. These are the things I'll inherit.
Your dad's will just be. I leave the old street sign to my son James. Uh, you'll be asking the lawyers, is there any money in there at all? He's
Just
like,
a
no, man,
bunch
he
of
just
signs.
invested in
Just
in
a
street
bunch of
signs.
signs.
Can you imagine what my dad's will be?
Bunch of stones.
Fucking old stones and bricks for generations of stuff that
You'll
hasn't
be
been thrown
laughing
away.
though when society collapses though and the currency is chuckies. And you'll be the wealthiest man in the
Oh,
land.
man. I'll be Tony
Aye, man.
Soprano up in here.
Oh, why is this camera not working, man?
Don't know. We'll
Aye,
end on that
fuck it.
high.
Like and subscribe, please.
See ya. Yes.